Hey everyone, I'm dropping out of my PhD in 6 months, and currently I'm in the process of figuring out a system to manage my projects and my knowledge. And so for that system, I'm using Obsidian. If you're not familiar, it's basically a note-taking app, but it's highly customizable. And so for the past 2 or 3 days, I've been looking through plugins. I've finalized sort of the settings that I like for the note-taking app. And so now I'm looking for plugins to see what might be useful. And then also trying to sort of finalize how I want how I'm going to interact with the project. Because it's better if I just show it. Where was it actually? Start here. Yeah. And so for my project management or task management, I'm following getting things done. If you're not familiar, getting things done follows a workflow where you have a bunch of tasks, and actions, things that are not complete in your life. And so all of these go into inboxes. And these inboxes then have to be processed. And so when we process lists of things that need to be done that aren't sort of in their final place in our life, they're either actionable or not. If they're not actionable, you need to either store it or delete it. So storing can be archiving it, putting it somewhere for reference, or maybe it's just a book like that you might reference sometime in your life, or maybe it belongs in a project. And if it is actionable, if you need to take some action on this particular task or whatever it is, then you need to decide whether it's a project or whether it's something that just needs to be done. And so it can be done either immediately, and so the best thing to do in those instances is to just do it. Otherwise, if it takes over 2 minutes, it might be something you want to schedule for a particular day, or if you want to put it at a specific day and time, it goes into your calendar, so hard scheduling, or you can delegate it to somebody. Now, if that task isn't a priority, it can go into a someday maybe list. And so these are tasks and projects that aren't important to do right now, or maybe you want to do it someday, like a bucket list item as well. And otherwise, if the task is a project, and so it basically requires multiple steps to complete, it's not just one task that you can do in like 30 minutes, there's a series of tasks, then it's something that you need to set up as a project. And so for me, I put that as process. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Previously, as you can see, I have an inbox. These are all the different inboxes in my life. And so I have those noted down here. And then I also have a file for wait, a file for someday maybe. And so these are in my Obsidian app. So we have wait, someday maybe. You also have an inbox here. For my calendars, I only use Outlook. And then for my projects, I think of more broadly as efforts. And for this, I organize all projects into the 7 areas of wellness. So it can be a physical project. For example, I want to run a marathon. It can be intellectual. I'm doing a research project for my PhD. Emotional, I want to, get over some trauma in my life and need to take certain steps to get there. Social, you want to be more confident or whatever project you have, and so on. Now, the other part to the system, as I mentioned, was archiving stuff. And so here I have sort of this system for archiving that I made up. So any forms of personal identification, yearly documents that we all need to keep track of, anything else that's personal that we want to archive, previous projects we want to archive, and then anything else that's more of a book or something that we can reference in the future. I'm going to follow the Dewey Decimal System for that. So that's the library, and it's going to be stored on my computer. Yeah, and so the only thing left really is to find a way to process projects. And so process and manage projects. So for each project, let's see. I've so far come up with this broad. I've come up with this folder structure that is standard to all projects. I referenced getting things done, so these are some notes from getting things done. And yeah, so for each project, we need to clearly define outcomes, define the next actions, and then we need reminders to review it. And so within clearly defining outcomes, we have defining purposes and principles. So why are we doing this, and what principles are we following to make sure this is accomplished? What outcome do we envision for the project? And then brainstorming how we're going to bring about this project. What logistics need to be mapped out clearly. And then, yeah, I guess organizing also falls into clearly defining outcomes. So planning the project. And then after that, it's just identifying the next actions. So a lot of project management and project defining projects is in the first 4 steps, which is really all just text or drawings, which Obsidian does. So what I'm thinking about is for each project, so for example, I'll have a project called Project A. Let's say it's a physical project, so we go to efforts, we go to physical, and we make a new folder titled Project A. Now within Project A, we'll have 6 folders, each of those corresponding to these headings. And then we'll have, I think, a different file corresponding to each of these bold items in the list. And then within each of these files, we'll have a standard set of, a standard set of prompts that we can write down. Yeah, that we can brainstorm on, and also have a clear vision, clear definition of a clear answer to the prompt. And yeah, so in that way we can set up the project. Right. And let's see. Yeah, so it's basically a bunch of folders, files, but then the thing where it starts to get a little bit more complicated is that some of these actually, we want a little bit more functionality than just folders, files, and text. For example, for the maybe timeline and milestones, we want to set up reminders, and those reminders should show up in sort of a dashboard or a command center. Task list as well. So actually, let me try to. Yeah, I think that works now. That works for now. Learning resources, that's fine. Files and documents. So I'm still building up this system, and so you're up to speed. So now we just need to think of ways to address this. Self-evaluation. So this one, let's start, because it's a periodic assessment, so we somehow need a way to program these periodic assessments. improvement plan as well. I can imagine it'd be periodic, or at least reminders that we should be assessing and coming up with improvements, contacts, communication logs, that's fine. And records of collaborative efforts. I think that's fine. We can program that in some other file. Final output, storage of all. Yeah, I think that's fine. So far, there's going to be at most 6 files that require some sort of functionality, that have some set of tasks that require some functionality so that we can complete those tasks, be made aware of those tasks, and complete those tasks. So let's see. So timeline, key, dates, milestones, and deadlines. So in particular, well, yeah, all these dates, milestones, and deadlines, these are all some things that we want to in the back of our minds. Initial tasks. Yeah, so these are next action tasks. An action plan, breakdown of tasks, including who and show updates. Yes, let's see that for now. So the thing is, Obsidian has a lot of functionality, and I'm not familiar with everything. And so yesterday I was offline. I was going through a lot of the plugins that I considered core for me, to you, to whoever has different workflows, different needs. I was looking into plugins that sort of could fit within all our needs, that expand the core functionality of Obsidian without being particular to a workflow. And so that was like 70 plugins that I went through. A lot of them are come back to. Some of them I think are pretty core, so I added those, but I still need to sort of finalize the hotkeys and really understand that I'm making full use of it. There are some I've decided on, and then there's some I'm just not going to use. And then there's about another 70 or 80 that I need to go through. So how do we do this? And I also haven't programmed the hotkeys. Just the core plugin hotkeys. But everything else in my project is sort of defined. My project management system is defined. Besides just projects. So let's to-dos, settings, I'm for that. I don't want to broach this. I can either, let's see, what are the options? projects, hotkeys that we still haven't assigned, community plugins to refine, and community plugins to look at. Now for individual projects, we understand the actually do we? Well, let's understand and there's files that need functionality. Okay. That makes sense. So maybe before looking into community plugins and refining the ones we understand, let's define what functionality needs we have, so then we know what to look for a little bit more and what to focus on. Yeah. So let's see. So for each project, we need to define a goal, or the overall goal of the project, and a summary. We need to visualize the desired outcome and define success. We need to have a timeline and milestones, deadlines, overall deadlines. We need to have an understanding of our budget and the resources we have for our project. And then an initial set of tasks. Let's see. Each project needs goal. So yes, I agree with that. Purpose and principles. Yeah. Outcome vision, yes. Budget and resources, yes. Okay, so I think we're already getting refine my project, my template. So let's see. Timeline and initial task, action plan, progress tracking. Yeah, so these are all related to the next task that we need to do. Self-evaluation is different than, let's see, periodic assessment of the against goals, examining both successes and areas needed for improvements. Adjusting the approach based on evaluations. Improvement plan. Yeah, okay, this one makes sense actually. But we'll keep it like this. Overview, goals, purpose, and guiding. Let's start from the end. Okay, future enhancements, project archive, final outputs. That one makes sense. Review. Feedback and okay, removed that one. We'll keep it there. What about implementation? Alright. Improvement. Yeah, so that one's fine. Issue logging challenges, a section to record issues, planned progress. It just seems like these files can be really redundant. project charter. In our project charter, overview. Actually, let me change something real quick. I'm not liking this. Yellow, purple, let's go with the blue. Save. But I don't like that it's not as bold. That's fine for now. We'll have to change that, but for now, it makes it just clear what's headings in what's folders. Okay, so now in the overview, I think we should have the purpose, and actually let's make it a sub-bullet list. The project's purpose. Oh, duh. Oh, no, yeah. Let's see, brief summary. So I was wondering if I should make the distinction between the project's goal and the project's purpose. I think so because the project's purpose can, wait, actually, sub-projects, well, the successes, let's say we're talking about running. while the success is, let's say, what we desired outcome is we run at a certain time, we achieve a certain level of fitness. Now the why, that could also be the same actually. But let's say the why is we want to be healthier. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then project's goal. Actually, let's think about this. One part at a time. Okay, next let's remove it. I don't think we need that. The why, the what. Actually, yes, let's have one brief sentence. One sentence summary. It's basically like a Git page where at the top, the about. To make this mostly clear to reader. Yeah, so let's have an about summary. This should be just one sentence, and then we mostly understand what it's about. Purpose and principles, outcome and vision. Now what about brainstorming? Where should we have brainstorming? Yeah, so budget and resources was remaining project charter. Yeah, so that makes sense to me. And so within strategy, planning the project, is the key milestones. Key milestones. Let's actually move this one up there. So now, when you get these figured out, so I have overview, brainstorm, budget, and resources. One document has key dates, milestones, and deadlines. Milestones and deadlines. Let's check this one. H bold. Can you make why does it? So here it's using Kotlin, SQL, less, SQL, YAML, div. That's fun. Or, oh, is it that it's writing out text and then the UI is checking for keywords, and depending on which keywords, then it decides which environment is displayed. Please continue. Arduino. Great. So here, spaces, what is this? ToDoist, untitled, untitled. Great, so now actually, let's move all of this into our inbox. Delete this. And let's see, so start here. Start here, this is going to be a folder where I explain how to set up this, I explain Obsidian and all the different settings I have on, explain some of the hotkeys and settings in general. So that's the command center. I want to rename this. Start here's README. Or overview. CC overview. CCO. Command center overview. Let's just have README for now. It's whatever. Yeah, so that's an image. That's whatever. What was I thinking? Oh, templates. Need a folder for templates. New folder. Template. Project. And now within the template project, we need a file. File. Stacked tabs. So we were saying all these are different folders, so then let's just make this easier for ourselves. Terminal, new window. Adjustment. I like adjustment. Adjustment. R&D. R&D. Or maybe just review. looks like MD. Huh, maybe we should just rename it. MD to research dev. Planning strategy. I didn't want to do 0 start. 0 1 research and dev. Rename. Score. Yeah, that makes sense. Review, adjust, actually. Review and adjust. Comment, call out. Yeah, they all fit in line. I would even go say one charter. And now create all the files. Actually, let's do that through here. New notes, overview. Huh. Well, yeah, I don't have the tabs. Oh, I blanked on the name. But I do know we have brainstorm. So we have overview, budget and resources. Okay. So then we have resources. So we have those three. Now planning needs timeline, milestones. Timeline and milestones. Milestones. Action plan. Progress tracking. Learning resources. Actually, Essential materials for understanding or developing a project. Learning resources, notes and ideas. Files and documents. Those are all folders. And I guess they can have a file within them. Let's see how actually. Progress tracking. Yeah, so we can have just one file within those. That is the name of the folder. CD underscore research and dev learning sources notes ideas. Huh? Oh. Files, docs. So now we should see all of those. And let's bring this here. Is untitled, which is under files and docs. Files and docs. This one. Files and docs. Resources. Note. Notes and cool. So now we're at self-evaluation, improvement plan. Review and adjust, so self-evaluation. Contacts and communication. Is that the case? Contacts and communications. Oh, wait. Contacts, communication. feedback and collaboration. So let's see. Final outputs. So this is actually a folder. Final outputs. Attachments will be no. In subfolder. Wait. Oh no. Yeah, that's what we want. Anyways, final outputs. Is there archive? Rename. Archive. Future enhancements. That's just future enhancements. Let's have that as a file for now. Delete. Enhancements. Project archive. Cool. So what we've done is created a template project and with folders, files that follow this structure. So now what we need to do is go through, refine the prompts. Go through, refine the prompts, make sure that we address everything within this, and then start to think about, let me add another one actually, finalize settings. structure. Libraries are simple. Yeah, whatever. And so then projects. Projects. Management. So individual projects. So then here we need to create structure, folder file structure, which we've already done. Then we need to, once we create define file prompts, once we refine the file prompts, imagine or draw. Once we draw out into our prompts, we need to brainstorm. Functionality for files. And then once we do that, we'll probably need to first, before we try to, after we brainstorm, after we brainstorm, go through community plugins, actually community plugins and create list of use. Create list, explore, plugins, yeah, so finalize settings, which we haven't done because we're still waiting for hotkeys. Yeah, hotkeys and community plugins. There we go. So we're trying to set up a vault. Set up So essentially we're trying to set up a project knowledge management system, which is our Obsidian vault. What we're currently stuck on is so what we're currently working on is finalizing settings, or something we need to do is finalize settings, which includes hotkeys and community plugins. And in addition to that, we're also trying to set up, so this is strictly Obsidian, finalize Obsidian settings. And then within Obsidian, we're trying to create our folder file structure for project and knowledge management. We're trying to create our folder file structure. And so we've defined our workflow. We've defined our archive structure, which is part of that. And then within that is projects. Yeah, okay, so far we're good. I was just thinking about, what about like a command center? Actually, let's write that here. Daily to-dos. Yeah, so what approach are we going to take? Okay, going back to this. So within our workflow, we have to process projects. Projects can be individual projects. Projects, yeah, can be individual projects. And multiple projects we'll need to manage. But currently we're setting up an individual project. We've defined the folder file structure. Now we just need to refine the prompts within each file and start to envision what sort of functionality we'll need to be able to manage these projects. And also, in general, for a particular file, if there's any functionality we need in that file. Let's not make this file functionality. So that makes sense. Looks good. In case you're wondering, once I have the system, then it's going to be time to organize all the different projects I have. I have a lot of things on my mind, and the only way really to get them out is to just have it in a system that I know I can trust. So that's why I've sort of been putting all my effort into this. Probably been over 30 hours minimum. After that, probably gonna summarize my learnings and make this vault or system accessible on Reddit, and so that in that way I can provide value, but also start to get people to, I guess, watch my YouTube. I'm curious how people who stream start to pick up views, and I think really the only way that I see that happening for me without paying for anything is to interact with other communities, and so Reddit is the one I'm most familiar with, where basically anyone who's just starting off can get a chance to get some views. And then after that, I have my basic projects that are most fundamental to me mapped out, organized. So then my next important one is finalizing my decision to drop out. I'm almost for sure going to drop out, 99%. However, I want to do the due diligence and had a meeting with someone, and he spent quite a bit of time explaining to me like a system that's data driven, that helps really quantify decisions like that are pretty important. So I just want to put the time to make sure that I'm not just making this on a whim or making this an emotional decision. And so once I have the results from that, probably check in with him, see what he thinks. Maybe I'm still being biased in my decision, so we'll get his thoughts. And so once I make that decision, probably gonna post my learnings of that system to graduate forums, graduate student forums on Reddit, explaining that system. And so when they're wondering if they should leave, or when they're in general trying to make a big decision, a system like that is pretty useful. And then from there might be actually some changes I need to make. Maybe there might be some changes I need to make, but anyways, from there, I think that might make sense. Once that decision is finalized, then coming up with a plan of how we're going to reach 5,000 a month with a heavy weight on trying to get there within 9 months. I have 6 months left as a PhD, where I'm staying behind to make sure the project that I helped start up has as big of a chance as it can have. And then at that point, I don't want to stay behind. Have a clean break mostly. So I have 6 months basically where I am being paid as a TA. So I need to save up my money. I'll have enough money saved up for like a 4 or 5 month runway, but I don't want to use up all that money to have it for a rainy day. So essentially I have 6 months, probably get a weekend job, and so this plan is just how am I going to get there as soon as possible, and then sort of post my learnings so far from all of this, or maybe this, onto entrepreneurial Reddits. So hopefully by like 6 months, I'm hoping by 6 months I'll have 10K subscribers. However, I don't know if it'll be that quickly. might be more like in 6 months 2,000 followers, because right now the only interactions I'm having with outside people to get funneling them into my YouTube would be through Reddit, and that can be hit or miss depending on how great my posts are and how many times I post. So right now I only have I don't know where to put this, but think about how to increase interactions with others, similar communities. Let's see. And watch Udemy YouTube courses. How do they suggest to increase yeah, so Reddit probably won't bring a lot of people in, maybe a few thousand, but I really want to get the ball rolling. So in addition to Reddit, seeing what else I can do.